Hello and welcome back to the channel. I've got an interesting story today. It's a story of get woke, go broke, a little bit of that, and also a story of just rich schadenfreude. This is the gun buyback fail that just recently occurred in Houston. And this story comes courtesy of a couple different sources, so I wanted to share them. First up is Print, Shoot, Repeat, which is a YouTube channel that I follow. They have some interesting 3D printed gun related content. So if you're interested in that, you should definitely check them out. Now, what happened? Well, the story is this. This was broke by Zanikin on Twitter. Big shout out to whoever it was that turned in 62 3D printed guns for $150 each at the Houston gun buyback. Yes, Houston was having a gun buyback, and as it turns out, someone decided to attempt to take advantage of that, and they actually were successful. Now, normally these gun buybacks don't actually usually buy back 3D printed guns, but in this case, it worked. Now, you can see in the box here, you can see a Liberator, and you can see a bunch of Harlot, I don't know how it's pronounced, I can't remember how it's pronounced, but it's a type of ghost gun, which is a 22 Derringer style, and I should say 3D printed gun. These really aren't ghost guns, they're 3D printed guns. A ghost gun is a gun where you buy a frame, or where you finish that yourself. You usually have to machine it, and then you buy usually a parts kit to finish it out, which might have the barrel and springs and things like that. So in this case, a box of what authorities described as, quote, ghost guns were collected during the buyback event on Saturday, July 30th, 2022. There's a couple of stories about this, about the massive turnout for the gun buyback event. This will play a huge part of the story in a second. You can see a single line of cars stretched 2 miles down Scott Street from Wheeler Avenue Baptist Church to Yellowstone Boulevard. So what happened from there? Well, this person took their 3D printed guns, there's 62 of them, and they took them for the gun buyback. A box of what authorities described as, quote, ghost guns were collected during the buyback event Saturday, July 30th. Guess how much these Harlot 22 Derringer style 3D printed guns cost to 3D print? With the pins and spring kit, apparently they cost about $6 each. So let's go ahead and do the math then. Now, should be noted that these guns, they were not turned in for $150 each. The Houston gun buyback ended up only giving this individual $50 a piece, claiming that the guns were non-functional. Whatever, it's still a little profit for this guy. So $50 a piece minus the $6 that it cost to produce each one means that this person made off with $2,728 in profit. That's not bad. Now, but it gets even better. Wait till you find out what this guy did with his tidy little treasure. Now, I can't confirm this part, but apparently, as the story goes, he then walked the line of cars that was waiting to sell guns and asked what guns they were selling, and then proceeded to buy guns that he wanted to add to his own personal collection. That's fantastic and a savage but appropriate way to use your gains from the sale of your 3D printed guns. I salute you, sir. That is fantastic. And I love the comments on this because here's what happened next. Ghost guns are not welcome at Houston buybacks, Mayor says. That's right. Mayor Sylvester Puttytat Turner no longer wants to have the ghost guns turned in at the Houston buybacks. And this comment here from Church Uwu or Uwu is just perfect. Gun buybacks. We developed a way to get ghost guns and 3D printed guns off the streets. Also gun buybacks. We no longer want to get 3D printed guns off the streets. There's some of the other comments here. I mean, if the police aren't gonna take them off my hands, I may as well dump them in a schoolyard on the way home. I'm not giving them away, I'm just leaving them there. They're still mine. no touchy. If it's good enough for the president's son, then it's good enough for the citizen. I thought those evil 3D printed weapons of death and destruction was the main reason they were doing buybacks now. Guess they aren't that worried anymore. So it seems they're not too concerned with ghost guns anymore. But I thought ghost guns killed people deader than regular guns. Guess not. Who'd have thought? This makes my soul happy. Also seeing all those old ass guns they got instead of the ARs and AKs. So what's he referring to here? Well, let's show you the guns that they managed to collect. So you can see here, this is a shot of the type of guns that were collected. A lot of very cheap high point guns, obviously. A 1911 and some smaller guns. And at the end of the day, I just have to ask myself, is this really the city of Houston getting guns off the streets? Who do you think actually turned in these guns? Do you think criminals went and sold their guns to the city for $150 or $50 so that then they could do what? Not have a gun to be able to rob or commit crimes with? Or do you think these are guns that people just had laying around their homes, that maybe they inherited from a family member, and that they were basically guns that were for self-defense, and these people didn't feel they needed them for whatever reason? I think we all know the answer to this question. And as a result, I don't think gun buybacks actually get guns off the street. What they do is collect guns that are sitting in a citizen's home. All the while, those citizens are now left defenseless, and criminals keep their guns so that they can use them at some future date. So I think that this was just a fantastic story, and I want to thank again, Print, Shoot, Repeat, and Zanigan for sharing this story, and all of the people who made such wonderful comments on this. This was actually just perfect. What do you think of this story? What do you think of people selling 3D printed guns? I thought it was savage and appropriate way to recollect some of your hard-earned tax dollars, because yes, this was funded by a grant from the federal government with federal tax dollars. So I don't know. I'm not saying you should do anything. I'm not providing advice here. I'm just saying that that's an interesting way for a person to maybe seek to recollect some of their hard-earned money from the federal and local governments. If you enjoyed this video and you want to continue to smash this woke narrative, then smash the like, subscribe, and share buttons, and I will see you in the next video. Have a nice day.